a split pattern over the next several days, through the weekend into next week. Thank you for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. It's Friday, the 20th of March, 2026, and we've been watching this spin here near the Canary Islands, back toward the Azores. This spin that will be weakening, this is the southern end of the split pattern. Then we jump to the north. Take a look at this. More of an aggressive pattern swinging back through here, multiple systems riding by. We'll keep an eye on the islands, watching over towards Scotland, Iceland, back toward Norway and Sweden. This is the north side of that split pattern that we're going to see over the next several days. And you see it broken down here by the jet stream, just kind of where we get those storm tracks. Of course, watching this spin, kind of a cutoff area of a spin right here, back through the Canary Islands. Watching near Morocco, Portugal, Spain will track some of the rain. And then we see a little bit of a storm track pulling back through Cyprus and Turkey. But here's the northern end of it. This will be more aggressive. But overall, it's that split pattern, which means if you are in between, it is going to be quieter and drier over the next couple days, while others getting a lot in the way of significant wind, rain, and some snow. But you see these multiple spins on the north side of this that will be moving by. Some of the winds in some of this, especially clipping by parts of Iceland and Norway, some of the winds in this kind of red shading you're seeing here, over 100 kilometers an hour. And then this spin here back through the Canary Islands, this is weakening. Winds have been around 80 kilometers an hour, but overall that is kind of losing its punch as it almost spins itself out, but still filtering in rain for some of us. We'll track those rain totals on the broad picture. Here's the smaller picture. Again, watching right in through here for still some of the heavier areas of rain as this spin starts to fall apart. We're looking at upwards of an additional 100 millimeters of rain through what's left of today, tonight, into tomorrow in particular, and then things will be weakening after that. So again, the Azores looking a little bit better, but still watching, especially as we work our way back toward the Canary Islands, for that higher chance of rain and some of the higher totals. So let me show you the wide picture and this split pattern that we're going to be seeing. Here's the spin right through here. The center of it here, but pieces of energy, Morocco, Spain, Portugal with some of the rain. Here's the bigger storm track to the north, then a little piece of it right through here, watching over toward Turkey where it has been more active. Bulgaria, especially eastern sections with some additional rain that will be around. But there's the spin as we work our way into our Saturday, weakening. Here comes that first of several systems on the northern branch, Iceland back toward Norway. Again, this one mainly north of Scotland, although we could see a little bit of that snow. But here's that second one that will be bigger. And then you see on Sunday how this area here is weakening. Meanwhile, still watching out for some of the rain. Italy swinging back through the Balkans will highlight that. But here's that bigger area moving in. Here's that split pattern. This is that weakening area. And again, in between, that's where it's going to be quieter. Big differences in the rain totals and even the snow totals I'll show you in just a moment. But again, with this spin over here weakening, throws a little additional rain tonight into spots northern Africa, Portugal, Spain, but overall this is weakening. And as it does, we'll draw our attention here, parts of France, southeastern France, watching near Andorra, some of the rain, some of the snow, French Alps. And then as we work our way Sunday into Monday, this is where we get a little more action. I'll highlight this in just a second. Italy back towards southeastern Europe. The northern branch, though, do want to cover that. Sweden, Norway tonight, watching out for the rain and snow, but here comes that next area, especially back through Iceland, watching the snow, mainly to the north of the UK. Ireland, we're on the quieter side. Here comes this working in as we work our way into Sunday. Additional rain and snow, Norway and Sweden, but you see Denmark, the Netherlands, Belgium, not a lot. And then another system rolling in as we work our way into Monday. This will pull across, this one may be Northern Ireland, back through Scotland, watching out for some of that rain as we work our way into Monday. This one will bring a little bit more so to the south. Spotty shower possible Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania as we work our way into the next working week. Now we swing here. I mentioned this spin over here, we covered that. But watching over here, Turkey, you see some of the rain, snow, watching Cyprus, Bulgaria, but it builds Austria, back through Switzerland, back through northern sections of Italy, through the Alps and the French Alps, watching out for some of the snow. I'll show you the snow totals in just a second, but there's the rain Sunday scattered about it as we work our way back through Italy. And then as we work our way Sunday into Monday, you see some spotty showers around Malta, watching over toward Albania, Kosovo, North Macedonia, Greece, some scattered showers. Same thing near Serbia, Montenegro, and Bosnia, seeing some of the additional rain that will be around. Hit or miss. Hungary over toward Czechia, Slovakia, Romania. But again, the in-between sections, that's where it's drier, and still watching out for some of the rain as we work our way back through Turkey. So again, some spots, not a lot. Look at Brussels. We're simply staying dry as we work our way back toward Luxembourg. You could see here as we work our way in the 3-day totals. Some of this, though, is snow. Of course, northern sections, Iceland, back through Norway and Sweden, and we'll cover that in just a moment. Here are some of the additional rain for tonight. parts of Portugal, central southern Spain, where we can pick up 25 millimeters of rain. But this is where it's going to be a little bit heavier at times. Of course, some of this is snow back through the Alps, so do see as you work your way back through Vatican City, Rome south. That's where we could get some totals, 25 to about 50 millimeters of rain. And then I mentioned Cyprus and Turkey, a few spots could be around 100 millimeters of some of the rain. A little more active again, that southern part. Now watching the snow. These are the snow totals over the next 7 days with that split pattern. Little more snow northern sections, but even with some of that moisture back through the Alps, we'll see some of the additional snow around. But you see these totals over the next 7 days. Parts of Sweden, back through Norway, some of these spots over 50 centimeters of some snow. So picking up some additional snow. We're now into spring officially, and then back through the Alps, anywhere from about 15 to pushing about 30 centimeters, depending on exact location and exact elevation, as we work our way over the next 7 days. So we have that split pattern, that spin near the Canary Islands that is weakening, stronger systems to the north. I mentioned Iceland back toward Norway, scooting by parts of Scotland, especially second half of the weekend into early next week. But if you're in the middle, drier and quieter conditions are around. And I'll be going through your comments. Let me know how your weather's doing as we go throughout the weekend. Have a wonderful weekend ahead.